G'day guys, welcome to another episode of My Blue Heaven. It's been a while. Thought I'd jump on and just give a bit of a preview for Wednesday's AFL National Draft. And I think the rookie draft takes place a day after, which is pretty exciting. It's always an exciting time on the football calendar. It's been a really exciting time for us Carlton supporters. I'll talk about that in a minute over the last 5 or 6 years. And it's an important time for every football club. Those little pieces, that you want to find to build your list, to add to your list, and decisions can make and break football clubs at this time of year. There's plenty of questions still about our list, I think. So I'm really interested to see which way we go on Wednesday. Just before I get started, no, I'm not presenting this show in a pyjama top. This isn't a pair of pyjamas like my daughter said. I was actually in Kmart on Friday just I was actually in there looking for something, but I happened to come across the men's clothes section. I thought I'd just have a look. I was actually drawn towards the band T-shirts. Okay, they got these band T-shirts in Kmart, and I saw these T-shirts on the rack, and they were $2. $2 each, marked down to $2. Absolutely unbelievable. I thought I'd try a few of these on. It's so light. So light. You could actually mistake that for a pyjama top. Okay, it's that light, but comfortable. Comfortable. I got some bad sunburn on Saturday and I popped this on and it just sort of soothed my sunburn. I bought 5 of these T-shirts of various colours. Okay, various colours, and I walked out of there with 5 T-shirts from Kmart for $10. That is unheard of. Okay, that is unheard of. Okay, so I was extremely happy. They're not head turners. It's not like I'm going to be wearing this to a bar or, to a Christmas function or, this is something you knock around the house in, but it's so comfortable, I couldn't be happier. Okay, why am I telling you this? Okay, because our recruiting team, led by Nick Austin and Paul Brodie and Mick Agresta, they basically, as I spent $10, okay, on 5 T-shirts, they basically taking $10 into the national draft on Wednesday. We got not much to spend at all in terms of draft picks. In fact, we take a pretty poor draft hand, okay, into this draft. Picks 31, 38, and 78. That's the poorest draft hand we've had since 2002. Okay, and we all remember what happened in 2002. So that's 18 years since we haven't had a first round draft pick. That's 18 years that we haven't had a pick inside the top 30. That's unheard of for us Carlton supporters. That's not bloody good enough. Okay, we usually live, okay, our footy season through the trade and draft period. Okay, this is our time to shine. Okay, no, but seriously, Nick Austin, I thought did a great job. Okay, in the trade period, got exactly what we needed or what we think we needed. Okay, time will only tell, but we couldn't be happy with Zach Williams, Adam Sard, and young Lockie Fogarty. Okay, but that draft hand, they're going to have their work cut out. Okay, look at it, 31, 38, and 78. What the fuck are you going to get for a packet of twisties, a half-eaten dim sim, and a flat can of Kirk's lemonade? It's just going to be really difficult. And really, okay, us rank and file supporters, we've got no idea. All these names have been bandied about. Henry Walsh, Sam's brother. Okay, we've got no idea about the kids, really, unless you follow it closely, which I don't do. Okay, I'll read the profiles, I watch the YouTube clips. But really, okay, you try and sound like an expert. We're going to take him and, well, we should be focusing on him. There's only one player that I know, okay, and I did a video on him about 2 months ago, and that's James Rowe. Because I watched the Samful this year, and I particularly watched Woodville West Torrens, and I watched James Rowe, and he was unbelievable, the leading goal kicker in the Samful this year. So I've been banging on about him for a long time now. I'll get to him in a second. So as I said, 2002, okay, this is our poorest draft hand. So what are we bloody going to do? And just quickly back to 2002, I don't even know who our recruiting officer was back then. I was racking my brain trying to think, who was our recruiting officer when we had the draft penalties? Okay, and we only had pick 45, pick 60, 72, 79, 84. Who was out? And I'm thinking, because you know what? If that recruiting officer could maybe get on the blower to Nick Austin and just give him a few pointers about Wednesday, that'd be great. Because, look, just listen to what we picked up in 2002. Our first pick was pick 45, Kate Simpson. Oh, wow. Over 300 games, one of the greatest. Cameron Crowe, dud. Don't worry about him, he was injured a lot. That's Trent's brother. Pick 72 was a pick. Brad Fisher, 99 games and could play. Goal kicker, did his knee. If he didn't do his knee, he would have played over 100 games. And he was a bloody good player for pick 72. Then pick 79, we picked up a kid called Carl Norman from the Bush, who unfortunately for Carl, when he came down here, he was a little bit of a loose cannon, or he got easily influenced by a guy named Lawrence Angwin. And they got into a bit of strife, and they kicked Lawrence Angwin out of the football club. And Carl Norman ended up staying and ended up playing some really solid football for us as a sort of a key defender, left footer, very skillful, very talented. Okay, very talented. And it was a great pickup at pick 79. But unfortunately, I think he got homesick. He was a country kid and went back to Wodonga. But that's a pretty good effort. Pretty good effort. So if we were able to do that, okay, if we were able to do that, something similar, get a 300 gamer and a bloke who nearly plays 100 and a kid who could have been anything but got into a bit of trouble with this draft hand, I think we would be extremely happy. So that's the last time. But as I said, there's a change of philosophy. Well, there seems to be a change of philosophy in the way we want to go about things. There's no doubt about that. Have we pulled the trigger too early? Because I think we were still a fair way off, okay, last year. 2.5 games outside the top 8. Are we still good enough to say, okay, we don't need first round drafts picks anymore, okay? We're going to get, free agents into the football club and we're going to go down that path. Or should have we kept that first round draft pick? Time's only going to tell. But it is exciting because the expectations are huge now, aren't they? The expectations are huge on everyone in the football club. Everyone, from Nick Austin through to the players to the coaches, okay, to the Jack Russell, to everyone. The pressure is on because next year is the year. It's the year, all right? Shit will hit the fan, okay, if we come late August, September next year and we're not playing finals football. It's going to hit the fucking fan. There's no doubt about that. And that makes it exciting because I wanted finals this year. I thought the expectations was this year. But there's no more excuses next year. There's no more people saying, oh, we're still doing this, we're still doing that. No. Okay, it's got to be next year. It's got to be next year. So it's exciting because I think, have we pulled the trigger too early? Are we confident that what we have already is good enough? And we've been spoiled in regards to stockpiling picks and young talent since 2015. Let's go through quickly all the players that are still at the football club when Sauce took over as list manager. So 2015 picks 1, 10, 12 and 23, which is Wiedering, Mackay, Curnow, Cunningham. 2016, 6 and 27, Patreski, Seaton and Fisher. 2017, we had 3, 10 and 30, which was Dow, O'Brien, de Conning. 2018, 1 and 9, which was Walsh and Stocker. Then last year, Kemp and Philp at 17 and 20. That doesn't mention all the other players who are around them, later picks like Jack Silvani, Williamson, young Ramsey. They're still there as well. So all the players that are still at our football club, all those players taken inside the top 50, that's a lot of so-called talent. Do we think it's good enough? The club obviously thinks it's good enough to pull the trigger and start getting free agents in and giving away our high draft picks, okay? Not to mention in that time as well, we also picked up in 2015, we picked up Lockie Plowman with pick number 3 from 2012 draft. In 2016, we recruited Caleb Marchbank, who was pick number 6 in the 2014 draft. 2017, we picked up Matthew Kennedy, who was pick number 13 in the 2015 draft. 2018, Will Setterfield, who was pick number 5 in the 2016 draft. And last year, okay, Lockie Fogarty, pick number 22 in 2017. That's well over half our list, that is taken in that period, who are really, really high draft picks. Now, I think only 2 of those players at this stage have proven that they're going to be really stars of the competition, and that's Sam Walsh and Jacob Wiedering. Do all the others need to be absolute A-grader stars? Of course not, but there's still so many unknowns about that group. Some through injury, like Curnow and Caleb Marchbank, but a lot through we just don't know. Development, whatever it may be. We don't know about Dow. We don't know about O'Brien. We don't know about Stocker. We don't even know about Kemp or Philp. Okay? We don't know how good Will Setterfield can be. Okay? We don't know the future of Matthew Kennedy. We know he's going to be re-rookie. But are these going to be good enough? David Cunningham, are these going to be good enough to take us not only to the finals, but more than just finals next year, but a grand final, okay, in the next couple of years, 2 or 3 years' time, and then a little bit of a dynasty and to be sustainable? We still don't know because there's so many unknowns. The club must think we have the talent, but I think there's still a lot of question marks. This is what makes this draft period, and I know we've only got the 3 picks and we'll probably only use 2 of them, but what way are we going to go? Now, because we've got so much of that young talent still at the football club, is there an opportunity on Wednesday to go a little bit older? So we target mature age. Okay, and when I talk mature age, I'm not talking about 25, 26-year-old. I'm talking about, somewhere between, your 21 to 24, like Geelong did with Tim Kelly a few years back. Or are we going to go with a traditional, what we usually done with an 18-year-old? If we go along the young, okay, an 18-year-old, they're not coming in next year. So we really have still got one eye on the future. If we bring an 18-year-old key defender or an 18-year-old small forward, they're not going to make an immediate impact next year. It's going to be very, very remote, okay, to pick a player up between 30 and 40 who's going to make an immediate impact next year. It might be 2 or 3 years before they're making an impact at senior level. They're going to have to serve an apprenticeship because that's something we haven't been able to do. Or if we think we're in a bit of a window here, are we now in a position to go, okay, all right, no more fucking around. We've got enough young talent. Okay, I've just mentioned all those players, well over half the list in that range. Is it time now to grab a player from the state league, okay, who's showed a lot of promise, who's ready to go next year? And this is my next point about how specific do we want to go, okay? So what are we going to do? Is 31 and 38 going to be 18-year-olds and then the rookie draft going to be older players? Or all those older players that we want to target, okay? So the likes of a James Rowe, who's 21 years old, are we going to nab him with a pick 31 or a 38 because other clubs are going to be into him? And I think a thing that concerns me a little bit is I don't think we respect the position, okay, of the small forward. I really don't. And I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a negative light, and I think we respect it, but I don't think we're willing to put the work into actually getting one who knows the position. And I think the small forward role is so unique because it's almost something which a player's born with. They're born with that ability to be able to kick goals. It's like a striker in soccer. It's like this innate ability to be able to get on the end, know where to run, know how to cheat. Because cheating as a small forward is a skill, okay? Know how to lose your opponent in traffic and know how to finish, okay? And I know the small forward role in the modern game is more than about kicking goals, but at the end of the day, we need players at ground level who are dangerous around the sticks. Now, at the moment, we've only got Eddie Betts, and I don't really see at this stage Zach Fisher as being a genuine small forward. And what concerns me with a recent interview with Cam Bruce was that Zach Fisher's going to spend his whole pre-season trying to learn the craft of a small forward. That doesn't quite wash with me, and he's apparently going to learn tricks off Eddie Betts. Now, you don't teach tricks. It doesn't sound right to me. Let's start respecting the positions, okay, that players okay, are suited to particular positions. Rather than recruiting blokes as midfielders and going, okay, let's try and make them into a small forward. To me, Michael Gibbons isn't a small forward. He will never be a small forward. Look, he might get on the end of a few and kick some goals, but he's not a small forward. He's a midfielder. Zach Fisher, to me, is better up around the wing, up around the ball, where he can use his elusiveness and lose his pace. He didn't grow up a small forward. They're trying to teach him the tricks of a small forward. It really does concern me, okay? So, to me, I would be hoping that we are seriously into whether it is an 18-year-old specific small forward or we're really into a mature age recruit small forward who can make that immediate impact next year, given an opportunity, which is someone like James Rowe. Will we look to a defender to shore up that position, considering, like Callum Marchbank had his injury concerns. Liam Jones is, he's going to be on the wrong side of 30 shortly. The fact that we've released Ben Silvani, he's earmarked as a key division youngster. So will we go along that track, key position, small forward, or do we go another midfield? Is going to be very interesting to see. I'm excited. I'm excited because this is the first time in a long time that we're not playing our season through the draft. There's expectations now that we're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to rock and roll for 2021. We're not going into a pre-season looking at our youngsters and going, oh, look how skinny they are. He's going to be good in 5 or 6 years' time. Geez, we've got a bright future. We're actually going into the 2020 pre-season, okay, with its finals. It's finals next year. Okay, the expectations finals next year. We're looking at, our 5th and 6th year players, our 4th year players, and they've got to perform, okay? They've got to perform and they've got to start playing well. There's no more just getting excited about our youngsters. It's actually time to start delivering. And I'm really interested to see which way we go on Wednesday. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know I keep talking about James Rowe, and no, I'm not going to be disappointed if we don't get him picked up, if we don't pick him up, but I will get disappointed if we don't pick him up, but someone else does after us, okay, and he ends up becoming a really good player. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd like to know what we need, okay? What do you think we need? Do you think, okay, we pay the positions on the ground enough respect? Do you think just being flexible, just because, you might be able to play a little bit forward or a little bit midfield or a little bit on the wing is good enough in this day and age? Or should we be targeting players who are specifically strong in their position, such as the small forward? Great to have a chat. Hope you're well. Probably the last episode I'll have for the year, unless we have an open training session before Christmas, which I highly doubt it. If not, I'll see you in the new year. Great. See you later.